Joining the show tonight, a former Maverick, Colorado Mesa, where he played in the secondary. Now, though, on the other side of things, the RMAC columnist for D2Football.com, it's Antonio Clark. What's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, man, thanks for having me. Happy to be here. Happy to talk some D2 football tonight.
Pumped, man. Not just any D2 football, probably the biggest week one matchup that I can remember in, I don't even know how long. Grand Valley goes out to Mines in a game where a lot of question marks were kind of surrounding that one. Obviously, two great teams from the prior year, hence those rankings. But Mines walks out of that one. I shouldn't say walks, maybe barely gets out of that one with that last-second field goal. Grand Valley, dude. And we said on the pod, and we were recording the night of, we said if anyone can pull this comeback off when they're down 28-7, it'll be these guys. They almost pulled it off, man.
It was an amazing atmosphere. It was an amazing game. The way I've been describing it, the way I described it when I was talking about it, previewing it, it's a heavyweight fight. You know, they're two of the best teams in the nation. Grand Valley with their size, just that style of football, that really physically imposing style of football, you know, counteracting Mines who had just played Ferris in the national championship and didn't show as well against a GLIAC opponent. For Mines to escape, I'll say, was still very impressive to me. You know,
absolutely.
Grand Valley showed a lot of heart coming back. For being there for a while, I thought Mines was going to bust it open. I thought it was going to be like a blowout for a period of time. I thought they'd do it, but Grand Valley came back. Their quarterback, he had a game.
He did.
You know, he was under a lot of duress the entire game, but you know, he made plays. He found guys. He extended. It was really impressive. Like, that's exactly what I expected when I was on my way to the game.
Absolutely. And before we get into more of it, first year with D2 football, I wanted to lead with that for you. What's that been like? Obviously, it's not your first time being around the game. Like, I'm not an idiot, but being around in this capacity, you've worked in the news setting before. I got to imagine this is just exciting to be around it in this form.
Oh, it's such a blessing, you know. Like, I used to watch these guys do these shows like back when I was in college. Like, I remember actually being pissed off like my senior year that I wasn't an All-American on their list.
Yeah.
I was actually really pissed about it. But no, it's been a blessing. You know, they're really cool guys. They've been doing this for years. They know a lot of things. You know, there's a lot of insight that they provide and help me out, like learning more around the nation. But it's been great. I look forward to it. I love getting on the message board and interacting with the fans. Like, I even used to do that back in college. Like, see what shit the fans are talking on the message board and whatnot.
I love it. Yeah, but you're talking all about Cade Peterson, and his night was all over the place. The big storyline this offseason, he loses his top two pass catchers to frickin' Power 5 programs, and the big question is, who steps in to take their place? How do you continue to make those kind of plays when you lose that type of skill? Now, Grand Valley, obviously, in a position where they can reload, and we saw a little bit of that, took the offense a little bit to get settled in. You mentioned it, though. He was under duress for a lot of that game. Mines comes out with, I believe, 4 sacks. They're getting back there, pressuring him. His ability to extend plays was really impressive, especially when sometimes the rushing attack was not there for the Lakers. He was their leading rusher. And when you look at out of that backfield, someone that I was just a stat I was really surprised about, Tariq Reed, basically a non-factor in this one, which is just astounding. 7 carries, 4 yards from a guy who I think I would put in the conversation, you know, one of the best, if not the best back in our conference. And you look at a national level, for him to have that impact on a game was super surprising. So I think that's just a kudos to the defensive front from Mines, if anything.
Mines' front seven is insane. You know, it's loaded. Nolan Reeve, like, with COVID giving all these guys, you know, the more years and more time to play, they got a lot of like seasoned vets that have played a ton of games. Nolan Reeve, I forget his name. I believe it's Cade Peterson, number 97. There's some dogs. Their linebacking core, Healy went off. Adrian Marino's been an all-conference guy. You know, and I'll just keep harkening back to that national championship game. You know, like, them going up, getting a taste of like that top-tier GLIAC, even though they had played Grand Valley earlier in the season last year and barely lost to them. You know, I just think every year Mines takes another step forward. You know what I mean? Every year, if they get beat that next year, they're not going to get beat the same way. They're not going to get out physical. You know what I mean? And I think they were out to prove that, and they definitely did it. Where I think Mines is going to have some trouble possibly is on the back end. You know, they lose a Mason Pierce, an All-American DB. You know, they still got a lot of vets back there. Cam Forrest is back there. Jaden Williams, you know, they got guys back there, but you know, it showed some of the youth. Some of those plays where some of those guys got behind him, like some of them were bad, in my opinion. You know, I'm not sure his name on Grand Valley. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Thierny, Cody Thierny.
Okay, yeah, I know
you
you're
I'm
talking
about number 5.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, he was getting behind those guys, making huge plays, and I'm like, how is this guy getting that open? So I think Mines has some things that they can plug up, but I think their front seven was extremely impressive because, like you said, the running game was non-existent except for the quarterbacks scrambling.
Yeah, that was it, and I'm right with you on that. And you know, the GVSU defense, where their offense did lose a couple big playmakers. Now they did lose arguably their best player in the defensive secondary on the side of GVSU, but they brought back a lot within the box. I think that showed because when you're able to hold that offense of Mines, I mean, Matocha still very much the guy after week 1. I mean, we don't need to crown him again after week 1, but if you can do it against that defense, you can do it against a lot of people. I'm excited to see what him and McLeod, man. What the hell?
McLeod is, I've been saying it for years because I played in the RMAC and I immediately was just, I love D2 football. So I've been following it. I've been seeing all these guys grow up. I've been saying it for years since 2021 when I saw McLeod the first time he was getting tick. I think he was a redshirt freshman. He's just different. Like he's fast. He's fast as fuck. He has the burners. Like, I know there's a misconception about like white receivers, being like, more technique guys. He has the burners. He can run with the best of them. So that, along with the coaching, their receiver coach, Coach Diedrich, there is amazing. Like if you look at Mines through the years, like since 2016, they've had like 4 or 5 2,000-yard career receivers, like, just in a row. McLeod's just the next in line, and having seen them all play, I'd say he's the most athletic.
Okay.
So like he just goes off. Like, dude, I don't even think he had his best game, and he still went for like 150 the other day.
Absolutely.
Like, he didn't get in the end zone. He had a drop or so. Like, I expect him as the season goes on to just play bigger and bigger. And there's not a Josh Johnson there, still looks from him. He's that guy that Matocha is going to want to go to whenever, he's under fire.
I think that's the most impressive part is like, where he's going with it, and you're still able to do that. Now, that's like the measuring stick of a great passing game or just team in general. If you can't stop it, even though you know it's coming. And like you said, he's just the next one in a long line of super talented receivers. Also, by the way, they're making bread as soon as they graduate. Did you see that stat from them? It was like $93,000 on entry-level jobs, just the receiving core.
Dude, I grew up in Colorado, so like I talked to Mines coaches when I was in high school. I didn't take it as serious because I was like, yeah, I'm not a nerd. I don't think I would have the chops academically to go. But like now that I'm a grown man, I think it's one of the dumbest decisions I ever made. I'm like, Jesus Christ, like $100K out the door.
It's
That's
unreal.
Insane. That's insane.
Working at the news station doesn't exactly stack up right there.
Jesus Christ. Not a fraction of that.
Oh, no, but that is great. And I mean, just more recently, talk about that in particular over in, is it Toronto right now? Making some plays over there in the CFL?
Oh yeah, he got his first, he made his debut tonight. I believe he had 4 tackles. Mason Pearson. It was so dope seeing him just grow over the years. Like I remember like even seeing his body grow, like seeing him go from little scrawny freshman kids to like big buff seniors. Like it's cool seeing their progression, seeing them grow. He had a great year last year, and he's parlayed that into like an opportunity. He's making the most of it. Yeah, that's the thing about playing at the next level. Like you get an opportunity, you got to make the most of it because this is like there's so many players. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But Mine's their offense as well. Like not just the receivers. Even though Zeman's out of there, and you think like how are you going to replace an All-American and one of the greatest guys ever? Like their running backs now they present a different threat. They have more speed. They're more elusive. Like Roper, he's a Colorado kid that played at Dartmouth. He's nasty.
Yep.
And he's physical, big. Like I know you saw that touchdown run where he bucked the dude. He ran him over for the touchdown. Like I think Mines is just a machine that's I don't think they're going anywhere.
No, I'm going to agree with you. And definitely excited to see what they do as they move going forward.
Peace.